Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is a guide to the Abyssal Fracture on normal difficulty, where you will encounter Zeromous, yet another boss from Final Fantasy IV, complete with a remix of the original theme music. Please like and subscribe. I'm releasing guides for every story dungeon and trial in the game, so you always know what's coming. Let's get started. Like most trials from Endwalker, you have to be careful not to fall off the platform, but you can be resurrected if you do. Once you pull him, the first thing he casts is Abyssal Nox. This will inflict doom on all players and reduce everyone to 1 hit point. Doom will disappear when players are healed to full health. After this, you will see bright spots move across the floor and stop. Stay away from them because they will explode after a few seconds. Then you'll see Sable Thread. This is a line stack marker that hits multiple times and deals heavy damage. Everyone should stack in a line and healers should be ready for some serious healing. With Visceral Whirl, the boss will cover most of the floor with line AoE markers, but there will be a safe triangle to stand in near the boss and another at the opposite end. After that strikes, he'll cast Dark Matter, which is a tank buster that hits multiple times and deals AoE damage. The tank needs to move away from everyone else and use mitigation and healing as needed. Next is Flare, where you'll see a stack marker on a tower. Everyone should stack there. And as soon as the fireball lands, run out because it will deal AoE damage from itself and the lines coming out of it. The lines that come out of it will be much larger than the markers indicated. At the same time, 3 players will have yellow pulsing ground markers on them. After a few seconds, a large circular AoE will appear under them. Ideally, these 3 players should run away from everyone else, but even if you stack right on top of one of them, there's enough time to get out of the large AoE before it hits. It will hit 3 times over a few seconds, so don't run back in right away. With Void Bio, you will see a row of green poison bubbles. They will sweep across the floor at different speeds, so just navigate the gaps between them to avoid getting hit and being poisoned. This will be simultaneous with another Visceral Whirl, so you will need to make your way to one of the safe triangular zones. With Big Bang, a few things will happen. First, you'll see a ton of circular AoEs all over the floor, but it shouldn't be hard to find a safe spot to stand in. Then, everyone will be inflicted with several debuffs. Pay attention to this one, called Acceleration Bomb, with an 18-second timer. Zeromous will do another Visceral Whirl, and you will need to run to a safe triangle. Around this time, the Acceleration Bomb will be close to expiring, and you'll see a blue die over your head counting down. Players must sit still and not use any abilities for these few seconds, or else they will be knocked into the air. This is immediately followed by a stack marker, so everyone needs to stack to defuse the damage. As soon as it lands, everyone will have spread apart markers, so players will need to spread apart to avoid overlapping damage. With Meteor Impact, a meteor will hover in the middle of the arena and tether to everyone. Just run away from it until your tether changes to a dotted yellow line, or else you may die. With Black Hole, a large purple line AoE with a bunch of arrows indicating its motion will appear. Get behind the line so that as it sweeps it never catches you. At the same time, a black hole will be expanding across the floor and anyone who touches it dies. Just move right behind the sweeping line while avoiding the black hole. Void Meteor puts 4 proximity markers on the floor and everyone should just run to the center to minimize the damage. This will leave behind 4 cracked meteors, then everyone will be tethered to a center floating meteor again. Run away to weaken your tether as before, but make sure you avoid the cracked meteors on the floor, because if you are close to one when the tether strikes, it will explode and deal heavy raid-wide damage. Otherwise, the cracked meteors will simply explode for smaller, local AoE damage. Big Crunch will work just like Big Bang, with random circular AoEs to avoid, followed by debuffs. But this time, you won't get the Acceleration Bomb that discourages movement, just some damage over time. Around 25% health, the boss will cast Rend the Rift. This deals unavoidable damage to all players, then changes the background visuals and the music for Phase 2. First, you will see a bunch of basic circle and line AoEs to avoid, followed by a cast of Nostalgia, which deals raid-wide damage 4 times. Healers need to be aware and ready to restore everyone quickly. Then he'll cast Flow of the Abyss, where you'll see the boss tethered to a wall and everyone will have orange markers. Where the tether meets the wall, a large line AoE will blast through the floor, so make sure you aren't lined up with it. When the orange markers disappear, everyone will drop additional AoE to avoid. This AoE will persist for a few seconds. With Chasmic Nails, several cone AoEs will appear briefly in a specific order, and the floor will then be struck in the same order. Just make sure you are standing where one of the last markers appeared. Then, when an adjacent region is slashed, you can run into that zone to safely wait out the rest. And that's it for the Abyssal Fracture on normal difficulty. Good luck, have fun, and see you next time.